whereby they complained the election was made and asked questions. Why was the election not rigged in Lagos? Why was it not rigged in Katsina? Why was it not rigged in Kano? Why was it not rigged in Cross River? Why was it not rigged in other states? Why was it not rigged in FCT? So I want to believe that whoever that is aggrieved with the PDP and Labour Party has done what.
Mr. Alere, where exactly do you stand? Where exactly do you stand? Do you believe in?
As I speak, yes. You said what?
I said, where exactly do you stand? Because you said if elections were rigged, for instance, Lagos State shouldn't have gone to the Labour Party or even Katsina to the opposition. Now, where exactly do you stand? Are you in support of your presidential candidates?
I am not.
You are not with Atiku on this?
Not.
Wow.
Okay. That is the truth.
Have you decamped? Have you decamped to APC?
I don't need to decamp to APC to say the truth.
Okay.
The truth is that PDP never prepared to win this election. PDP never prepared to. You don't go into a major election factionalize into form. PDP went to this election as 4 political parties. PDP of Atiku, Labour Party of Peter Obi, NNPP of Kokanso, and the G5. How do we win election in that kind of situation?
All right, let me quickly go to Barrister. Barrister, can you take back Dr. Kenneth on this? He said he's not with his presidential candidate, and he doesn't believe that this elections was actually mad, like been said in many quarters, including the Labour Party here.
Yes, Ken, we have been receiving quite a number of reports, of election malpractices, and the Labour Party was not left out. We hear that there were infractions in, some of the southeastern states, and that, it is unconscionable for your party to be alleging, irregularities in election when your party itself was an active participant
or
beneficiary.
Dr. Kenneth, okay.
I just heard the PDP representative, saying something, and that tells you about what PDP has become. So, what I want to agree with him is that I agree with him that his principal, Atiku Abubakar, ought not to talk or say anything about the Labour Party and should concentrate on his victory. But I disagree with him completely when he said the result in Lagos was not rigged. We led APC with more than 1 million votes, and we are going to prove it. APC get up to 25% in Lagos. You saw the charade that went on. People were brutalized.
Can you win only from Lagos State, Mr. Kenneth? Okay.
No, we're talking about if you have all this amount. In Plateau State, we won with more than 1,200,000 votes. So when you join this thing, our figure will be higher. Good. So then, as you are removing the figures, they are located to APC. It is going down. So what they did, because the beavers, stopped them through accreditation. What they now did was swapping our votes.
Now, Ken.
In Rivers State, Biakwa local government.
Ken, you are not answering. You are not answering my own question.
He's reacting to what Mr. Larry Lainka is saying.
I'm reacting to what the PDP.
Okay.
Good. In Rivers State, APC did not get up to 2,000 votes. Biakwa local government. And our 100 and something thousand votes were now relocated to them. So by the time you do all those subtractions and additions to us, then you see that APC is not even close to coming close. So I disagree with him when he's saying election in Lagos was not rigged. It was rigged latently. The only thing is that our winning became unriggable. So they had to now make it appear as if it's 10,000 votes only. We won in Podium Street. We had Tinubu, lives. Podium Street. We won in Asoro. For the first time, no party got up to 25% in FCT except Labour. A woman is now the senator in FCT. Do you know why the results were delayed? So that they will cancel some of the zones where we did best in FCT. They wouldn't have even those results at all. They wanted to take away Buhari, take away all those things. But because of the pressure, after manipulation. Now, let me answer what he said. If INEC officer said, if anybody says we rig, why are they waiting to bring out the electronic transmitted results, which the law said should be on that day? The position of the law is that you cannot say you have done election when you have not transmitted electronically from the polling units. From the polling unit. Let me tell you, when they were saying they rigged the election, it was still APC that was trying to rig election. In Imo State, the places election did not hold, they wanted to harvest results. In Ebonyi State, they rigged the election in Ebonyi State. So when you hear rigging in the southeast, it is still APC.
But your agents were in those places, Mr. Kenneth. Your party agents were in those places.
Yes. That's what I'm telling you. In Enugu State, in my own polling unit, we had 1,013 voters. We scored 969. I witnessed that one is my own polling unit. So, what is he saying? That it is rigged. Let them bring evidence.
All right, let's go straight to Barrister's question
We are going
itself.
to bring evidence to pass.
No, I think that's what he's answering.
He's answering it now.
Yes.
All right, I wanted us to save time. Prof, do you have anything to say?
Why have they not uploaded? Good. Now, why have they not uploaded the result up to today, 7 days? 7 days after election, for a result that ought to be uploaded from the polling unit on same day. Now, anybody that is telling you that the beavers malfunction is the first liar of this election. Why am I saying so? How can you do an election on the same day? The beavers accredited people peacefully, no heat. The beavers transmitted the election of the senatorial candidate peacefully. The beavers transmitted that of House of Reps peacefully. Then it came to the president, and they are telling you there was a glitch. Which glitch?
Prof, do you have any questions?
I'm actually...
because we don't have all the time.
There's a
But
question
let's Prof actually go on this so that we save time.
Bola Tinubu as president.
Okay,
so
Prof.
Please, beavers did not malfunction one bit.
Okay. Prof, please go ahead.
I'm just wondering
election manipulation,
how
election rigging.
How soon have they gone through their documents that make them conclude that the LP has won?
Now he's saying, did you listen to Prof, Mr. Kenneth? Mr. Kenneth, just for a second, he said, do you have the document? That's what Prof is saying.
I mean, how quickly have you gone through? You have 176 result sheets from the polling units, over 176,000 or more result sheets. So have you gone through all of those sheets in the last few days
to come to the
conclusion that Obi has won the election?
Yeah, who is saying this thing now?
That's Prof.
I'm asking you the question. That because you need to go through the entire 170-something thousand polling result sheet.
Or one of the panelists.
He's one of the panelists. Asking you a question, Professor Ayede.
Okay.
Because I think that conclusion is a little bit hasty.
Bola, I sent you. Hold on, I'm coming.
Okay.
I sent you a short video.
Yes, I saw it.
For you to know how the sound is coming to me.
Okay.
That is so I'm just managing to to pull on. It's quite chaotic here, but I'm just managing.
Okay.
Now, about what the professor said.
Yes.
Professor should understand that the law is that we have our own polling agents, and they have to be given a copy of the results.
Yes.
Good. So our copy of the original is not even tallying with what they are trying to upload in the portal now. You know what they are doing? There was no transmission of result on that day, which obvious is obvious because they said there was a glitch. So now, having collated and announced an illegality, because the position of the law is that you cannot collate or announce except you verify and confirm with the result that is already in the beaver. And I give you section 64, subsection 456 of the Electoral Act. I give you section 60, subsection 456 of the Electoral Act. So you cannot collect or announce except you verify and confirm with the results already put in the beaver. And these people embarked on an illegality and as a matter of fact, criminality. Because the Electoral Act said you have become a criminal if you ever do this. So openly and glaringly, APC did it. And you know what they're trying to do now? What they're trying to do is that after collecting manually, which has been outlawed, they now want to go to the portal to start trying to upload that collected one to see whether they can match it so that their rigging will be allowed.
Well, this is an insight. But
you have not answered my question.
Okay.
7 days. 7 days. No, I've answered your question. I said we have a copy because agents
From the agents
are giving a copy.
Yes, but it's going to take you quite some time to do the entire
analysis.
170 years analysis.
Don't cry more than the bereaved. Don't cry more than the bereaved.
Okay, Ken, there is a question I have been burning to ask you because I don't know is Ozekome the council representing your party, and the reason why I ask that is I saw a process.
Yes, when you see us in court, you know.
All right, let's not forget that Larry Layinka is also here. Please,
okay.
Let's bring Mr. Larry Layinka to the picture now. Hello, Mr. Larry.
Mr.
Are you still with us?
He's not representing the PDP.
I do understand that he also has a voice here. All right, you've actually listened to Ken. You've listened to Mr. Kenneth. And of course, I'm sure you have picked one or two things from here. I know your election wasn't what you actually bargained for. It didn't work out. The federal constituency you're actually aiming to get. But now, you were also part of this process itself. In a way, do you feel aggrieved? Because Mr. Kenneth actually said so many things about the processes and that they felt aggrieved with, and you're going to be challenging that. Are you agitated that you never got what you want, even in Ekiti State, and from what Mr. Kenneth has said so far?
Just a minute, Larry, before you answer that question. Just a minute before you answer the question. There's something I would like to add, to what she just asked you. Was the election that you participated in Ekiti State free, fair, and be called credible?
All right, go ahead, Mr. Larry. Yeah.
Let me answer your question first. You asked Mr. Kenneth to come for one thing. You asked him whether he has been able to go through. As I speak to you, I'm myself and my team. They are going through the polling because the source of every election result is the polling unit result.
That's right.
Until you go through the polling unit results, you juxtapose with the result collected at the ward and local governments, you cannot in all honesty, without certainty, come up with any position on that election. We are studying the polling unit results. Until we finish studying the polling unit results, we cannot come up with any position that will be credible.
So in essence, it's too hasty. It's too hasty.
But let me tell you, For me to say anything, I can only talk about my polling unit where I voted for now. And where I voted, the election was free, fair, and credible. I cannot say that of other polling units as I speak. I finished getting the polling unit result. That is what I'm doing now. I don't want to be emotional on issues. People are allowing emotion to control them so much. And I don't want to be that. And let me tell you, I said something the other time, and somebody said, on the ground, have you become to APC? And I said no. The election of Saturday was not perfect. Of course, no election is perfect. The election of Saturday, if you ask me, I will tell you that INEC not uploading that result as provided for in the Electoral Act, they can to challenge result of the election, which I believe the two parties are already doing. And I want to also advise that we don't let to be controlled so much emotion. Let the courts be allowed to adjudicate. I've always said that even my party PDP, by now will be sitting back and be asking itself, why did we lose it? Aside from the issue of rigging, you ask yourself, for me, for instance myself, my party suspended me 3 weeks to election. Yes, I walked into that election. My party expected me and making a decision whereby people were even of the opinion that I was no longer contesting. On top of the day of the election, you know, people were calling, asking me, Larry, are you still contesting? So I lost, thousands of votes because of what my party did to me. A party that wants to win election will talk about suspending and spelling its own candidate less than 1 week to election. So PDP to my mind is crying when the head is already off. A party that wants to win election will bring its house together to put everything in order. Labour Party is an offshoot of PDP. NFPP, that is also is an offshoot of PDP. G5 is an offshoot of PDP. We went into this election as 4 factions. If you add the vote of Labour Party with NFPP and add to the one of PDP, it's about 14 million votes. That election would have been won clearly by PDP if we were together. We were not together. When I saw PDP and Labour Party addressing the press together on Sunday, I asked myself, we were doing what we ought to have done before the election, after the election. We should have come together before the election, my brother. We did not come together. We lost election. So if there's ground to challenge the election, they can go ahead and challenge it. But to me, as a person now, not as a member of PDP lost the election because of his own undoing. The only party that can readily and say we ought to award this election that has moral right to compete by this election, no party to my mind. So people should go to court like they have done and allow the court to do his job.
Okay.
All right, Barrister.
Yes.
175,000 polling units with for each polling unit. It will take like 2-3 weeks to study
everything
before you can come up with an informed position.
Okay.
All right, let's quickly go back to Dr.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Larry, I must say thank you so much. We have to go back to Mr. Kenneth now because he's also online. Mr. Kenneth. Yes, you heard what Mr. Larry said. He said these are documents that are humongous, and of course it would take patience to go through it, and that could take like 3 weeks. But from what you're telling us, you're saying that you already have accessed this document, and of course you have enough evidence to nil what appears to be the processes that you feel that has been maligned so far. But then I think, Barrister, you wanted to add a point to that.
Yes. Ken, there's actually a question I wish to ask you. And that question is,
proceed.
On what ground are you challenging this election? And the reason I ask that is because I have found that some people are harping so much on the guidelines, the electoral guidelines, rather than the Electoral Act itself, that is the regulations and guidelines for the conduct of elections 2022, which of course concerns this transmission of results from the polling units to the IREV. But I have an authority, although I am unable to lay my hands on it right now, which held that the regulations and guidelines are not binding on INEC, that they could be binding on the staff, they could be binding on the political parties, but that they are not binding on INEC. And if you are going to court based on the regulations and the guidelines for the conduct of election, is that petition not already lost on that basis?
Well, first of all, thank God you're my learned colleague. You did not cite any authority. You said you have forgotten. So I will advise that as you have forgotten the authority, you should have forgotten the question.
No, I am allowed to use it. I am allowed to use it in a decided case. In a decided case.
That's not it. He said you said you have forgotten the question. But however, since you remember that part, the question, let me answer it. There was one authority in the formal acts that if a rule of INEC is breached, and that rule is not also by the Electoral Act, then it is not enough to vitiate the election. Now, that is the authority you're looking for. Good, but that has been removed now in the 2022 Act. So, and in our jurisprudence, rules are subsidiary legislation that derives its power from the Act. So it is part of our laws. So in this present Act now, you're compelled to obey the rules and guidelines. However, there is no breach of the rule now that is not consistent with the Electoral Act. So, in the issue of transfer of results, it is a provision in the Act, not in the rule. So, when we talked about amending the Electoral Act 2022, Nigerians insisted on electronic transmission of results. But there was an argument that technology can change in future. So if you put BVAS in the Act, that means if better technology comes in future, then INEC cannot use the technology because they are restricted to one particular system. So it was agreed that no particular technology will be mentioned, so that if technology is improving, then INEC can be using it without having to amend the Act. But the instruction to transmit and transfer is in the Act. But what is now in the rule and guideline by clause 38 of the rules and guidelines is that INEC now made a rule that they have chosen BVAS as the specific technology to use. So if in effect you did not transfer by section 60 subsection 5 of the act, then it is flawed already.
All right, Dr. Kenneth, because of our time, I'm still calling you doctor because we're used to that. Because of our time, what exactly would you say you want? What exactly would you say you want? Let me go to this. Now, do you want a declaration from the court pronouncing Peter Obi as the rightful presidential candidate or the winner of this particular election, or you want a total cancellation of what happened on February the 25th and have a fresh election? What is really your submission? What is really your relief in this particular instance?
I'm going to answer this with what my principal said. My principal said he won this election and he has facts to prove it. He said it in front of the whole world. So allow the lawyers, when they finish their legal gymnastics, then we will know the specific reliefs that they would seek in court.
All right, let me quickly go to Mr. Larry because our time, we have to go from the studios this morning. Our time is fast spent. Mr. Larry, you are still aggrieved because now you're not even aggrieved with the process. You are aggrieved and angry with your political party for not doing the needful. Now, the governorship election is also around the corner. And, of course, so many things have been said about PDP still gaining their popularity. 16 years they've been within the principal rulership, talking about being the president for 16 good years. And now, wouldn't PDP should have had more experiences, more than any political parties in Nigeria, even before the mega thing came up with the APC and the formation of APC itself? Now, what lessons are you picking from this, and what admonition are you giving your political party, especially looking at the governorship election coming and the State House of Assembly elections itself?
The lesson to pick from this is also for us to imbibe the spirit of reward, the principle of reward and punishment. If you look at what happened to PDP during this election, the same people who left the party in 2014, 2015 and won with APC to defeat PDP were the one who came back and also put PDP to where it is today. The same people who were in APC then. And I've asked myself, why did the party allow those who left the party then go with APC to dissolve PDP to come and take center stage? If they were not the one to took center stage, the story would probably have been different. So the party must have to go back to the formative stage and imbibe the spirit of reward and punishment. As per the election of governor, that the election of March 11, I want to believe that that situation will be different because politics is local. The election coming up on March 11 is a local election. It's not going to be determined along the line of what happened last Saturday. It will be different. A lot of states will still be won by PDP traditionally. A lot of states will still be won by APC traditionally. And after the election, the party can now sit back and look at itself and purge itself. Okay. I, for one, have made my position known. The NWC of PDP, led by Senator Ayu, should go. Ayu ran PDP so arrogantly that the party is facing what it's facing today. So, in a normal situation, in a Senate climb, by now, Ayu should have tendered his letter of resignation, and his NWC, everybody in that NWC should have resigned and leave the party for more competent people to handle.
All right. We must say a big thank you to our guest this morning. Mr. Kenneth, we say a big thank you to you for joining us on this platform. We would have had enough time, but time is actually against us. And also, Mr. Larry Olayinka, thank you so much, sirs, for being here this morning. Prof?
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I would have loved to ask Larry if he has congratulated the winner. Okay. I wish him the best in future.
All right, Barrister.
Yes, I want to thank the wonderful gentlemen who have been our guests. It's been a pleasure being here too.
All right. On that note, we say a big thank you to you both, and that's the much we can take on the podium this Saturday. Join us again next week for another interesting edition. Bye for now.
32 FM 94.9.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.